All right, welcome to the episode of Real Estate versus Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan. How are you today, sir?
Doing great. Nice and sunny.
Awesome, man. I love it. I love it. That's great. So today, before we go ahead and tell you who our special guest is, and it's not just a special guest, a special celebrity guest is, I want to encourage everyone to like the episode, subscribe, and comment below because we're going to be changing some things up and we're going to be giving shout outs to people that do comment and interact with our podcast because it is our intention for you to take things from our podcast to add to your value to your business. So you have more massive success. So today we're going to go to LA and we're going to interview someone today who sells dope homes. She's with Sotheby's International Realty. She's a top agent on social media in LA. She's working on some amazing projects that we might hit on a little bit today. So we have the one, the only. Welcome to Real Estate versus Technology.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me today.
Of course. It was funny before we were on air, you like asked a question. I was like, wait, I'm going to pause really quick because she was like, how did you find me? It's just like we were all over online. So it's not hard
Easy to find you.
Yeah. And I follow Michael too. So it's just like, who is Caroline? I want to learn more about her. So that's what the show's about. So let's get into it. Like, let's get into like the beginning. Like, how long you been in business? Why the heck real?
Well, very interesting question. I was kind of like, I was doing some like wholesaling stuff and I was making a lot of money from it. And that business had kind of died down and I was looking into other businesses to get into. And then one of my friends told me, he was like, you would be really good at luxury real estate. And I was like, oh, okay, like, what do I have to do? He's like, well, first you have to go get your real estate license. And so I went to look into it and I signed up. I failed the first time. The second time I studied for 3 days and I passed.
Wow.
Because I didn't study at all.
Okay.
And I tell people all the time, it's 3 days of like all day studying, not like here. It was like 3 days, like 12 hours, 16 hours of studying. And I passed the test because and I tell people all the time, it's a memorization exam. Don't try to understand the information because then you'll see the kids in the class and they're struggling with trying to understand. And the instructor kept telling them, don't understand, just memorize. And they couldn't get that part through and they kept trying to understand the information and that's going to trip you up on the test.
Wow.
And like even in the crash course, they give you these word relevance. So like it just said GPAM, deferred payments. So they showed an example of the test and it was like a paragraph and it says GPAM. They said as soon as you see GPAM, just stop reading, scroll through the answers and look for deferred payments. And they're like, you're going to think like, what if there's two? Never. There's only one. And so it's not an exam that you understand. It's an exam that you memorize. And so that's like first thing. And then, sorry. And then,
so cute.
She's like quiet all day. Why is she doing this right now? And then, so I got my real estate license. I went to Keller Williams to go work there. And I told them, I was like, I walked in, I was like, I'm here to sell mansions. And the whole office laughed at me. They're like, oh, honey, you got to like start selling, condos and like little homes. And then you can like grow into it. And I remember I hired a Tom Ferry, his coaching program to help me. Yeah. And I remember I was talking with the coach there and I was like, honestly, if you're going to tell me that I'm going to do condos, I'm going to quit real estate today because I didn't come here to sell condos, And she's like, well, that's the steps. And I did something super unethical. Sorry, Tom Ferry, but I stopped paying. I literally stopped paying them because I was like, this is not what I want. And I was in a contract with them. They didn't come after me or anything. So thank you, Tom. I love you. And,
Shout out.
But I left. I was like, this is not. And when I signed up, they're like, yeah, we got you. And when I got the coach, they're like, no, that's not how we're going to do it. And I was like, well, that's not really what I signed up for. So this is not aligned with my plan. So someone told me there's this guy named producer Michael and that he's doing like mansion tours. And they were like, you should start doing that. So I followed Michael. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning and he had liked 20 of my photos and DM'd me. And I was like, what the hell, And so back up a little bit. So I'm working at Keller Williams. I'm trying to use, this is when social media was like taking off with businesses and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let me try to incorporate social media with real estate. And this was like 6 years ago. It was that whole like real estate Instagram thing was still very new. Yeah. And then like, I mean, it was so bad to the point where like, when you go to open houses, they wouldn't let you take photo or video.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's like it's 6 years ago. Like they didn't let you. Like you had to ask for permission. Yeah. I usually had to call the agents in advance. But luckily I made really good friends with the top agents very quickly. So they like allowed me, but they didn't allow other people. Because my friends were trying to knock off what I was doing, but they couldn't get inside the mansions, And then I was taking photos of the homes and putting it on my Instagram. And then my boss had told me, he was like, why don't you stand in front of the mansion? And so I was like taking pictures in front of the mansion, like, oh, there's this $13 million house. It's 10,000 square feet, 7 bed, 10 bath. If you're, it wasn't my listing. And so actually Tom Ferry's coach did give me this thing where they said, it's not your listing. So just say, I'm looking for a buyer. And that way, if the listing agent ever comes back, you could say, I put that I'm looking for a buyer. Don't you want a buyer? And then that way you don't like get tripped up with the listing agent. So on all my posts, I put, $10 million house looking for a buyer. $20 million house looking for a buyer. And that way I never had drama with listing agents. Because some people pretend it's their listing and that's really unethical. You don't do that, Yeah. And then so fast forward, producer Michael likes my photos. He DMs me, I write him back and he's like, hey, like I'm looking for someone to do these videos with. You want to do them with me? And I was like, yeah. Wow. So he's like, come to my office. And I go to his office and he's like, okay, he's like, do you have any listings? And I was like, no. And he's like, okay, can you find some agents with listings that will let you film? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I literally call like 100 agents in my neighborhood. And I'm like, hey, I have this luxury influencer. We're going to get millions of views and it's free marketing for your house. Can we shoot your house? And so I start calling all these agents and more said no than yes. But I was like, I'm going to figure this out, And then so I started getting some yeses. And then before that, I was like literally, so when I went to Tom Ferry, this is when Instagram was still photos. And he told us that it's going to be all videos from here on out. So he's like, if you want to be a relevant agent, you have to get into video now. And so how am I going to get into video? So I started, and I was like kind of like trial and error. So I was making videos like mistakes first time home buyers make, how to buy a home. We were doing like birthday shout outs. So everyone on my Facebook, we were just be like, hey, Mike, hey, happy birthday. I haven't seen you. Like, I was just trying different stuff. None of them was working. And I decided to take a selfie camera and my iPhone and tour these mansions just on my iPhone. Love it. Nothing fancy. And then this kid reached out to me and he was like, hey, I'm trying to build my my portfolio for videography. And I see that you're trying to do this YouTube thing. Why don't we link up? And he literally charged me $40 a video. He's like, just give me like gas money, And then he's building his portfolio. I'm building my page. I said, okay, that's fine. So we started working together and he started filming all my stuff. And then I was still shooting for Michael because Michael was where I was getting all the clout from, and then they come look for me. And I remember I had looked up one time and it was like 4,500 people Googled me in a day. Wow. After my video went live. Yeah. So I was getting I'm getting so much clout from his videos. Where are you guys in LA?
So I actually was in the Bay Area outside of San Francisco. I'm outside of Scottsdale now.
Okay.
Portland.
Okay. So in LA, we have these two, well, we have many restaurants like this, but there's two in particular. One is called Boa and one is called Craig's, and it is like a celebrity hotspot. It's such a celebrity hotspot. There's just paparazzi just sit there outside all day trying to catch a glimpse of celebrities. And they started taking photos of me, and I turned around, I was like, this is surely a mistake. And I turned around, I was like, can I help you? And they're like, Caroline Choi, real estate agent in Beverly Hills. I was like, that's me. That is me. And then they're like taking photos. The other guy was taking a video. They're like, we're here from TMZ and we're asking you questions. And like, I was like, you want to film me? Like, isn't there like P. Diddy inside or someone important? And they were like, yeah, when are you going to shoot next with producer Michael? And like, what homes are coming on the market, and just asking questions. And I was like in disbelief. Like, I couldn't even believe what was happening, because like it just became like, I just became like a celebrity when I was like trying to sell houses. And I never wanted to be famous. That was like not something that was on my little board, like I'll show you my vision board. Famous is not on there. And I accidentally became like a famous realtor, and I can get a table at any restaurant in LA. Like, wow. Hey, it's Caroline Choi. I shoot mansion tours, and I'm sure they like Google you really quick.
Yeah.
And you see like all the content that I produce, and they're like, sure, we'll get you a table. How many? 8 p.m. Friday at the Salt Bay restaurant, like whatever. I can get a table anytime. And so, because like LA's kind of like, they want like either famous people or rich people at their restaurants, and that way that everyone else comes, And so like if you're an influencer, a TikToker, like you can get a table at most of the restaurants. So anyway, so I started shooting with producer Michael. I start getting clout, and I still didn't get a lot of business in the beginning. And slowly as my fate, and then so I'm like shooting content, and I'm doing YouTube videos. I'm posting once at that time on Instagram. We were posting like once a day, and I had like this whole system. And then like the craziest people started contacting me. One guy, he's a Saudi prince he's a prince from Saudi Arabia. He contacted me, two of them separate. And the only reason why we verified that they were real, because we know a Saudi prince here in Los Angeles that I was showing a bunch of homes to. And I was like, hey, these guys are claiming that they're Saudi prince. He was like, oh yeah, that's I know who they are, and that's real,
Wow.
And yeah, and then a bunch of our mutual friends knew them too. And then this other guy contacted me, and he kept telling me that his company was going to go public, and that he was going to buy a mansion from me one day. And one day he sent me this article, and he had sold his company for $925 million. And so like, yeah. And so he's like, I'm ready. And then so the way traditional real estate marketing works is you get like a list, an email list, a phone list, or whatever, and you nurture them. So in Keller Williams, they tell you to touch them, like, and I forget the number. Let's say it's 33. 33? So you have to touch them 33 times for you to get a deal. But I didn't know that I was probably touching them hundreds of times on my social media. And then in between they would DM me. They'd be like, oh, that food looks really delicious. Where is that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's, Wally's, or, that's, or what is that party? I'm like, oh, it's a gala for this charity. And that was my 33 touch. And I didn't know I was doing that. I didn't know I was doing that. And I was posting stories. I was like, this is me at the gym. This is my dog. So now I'm there in my personal life. And they also told us when we do video, they're like, they're going to either like you or not like you, but you're going to get that right away if they like you or don't like. Because if they don't like you, they're not going to watch your videos. So if they're already following you, they already like you. So, in business, they always say they do business with the people they like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I started getting all these big clients, and then I became like the mansion go-to girl. So like people were like calling me to rent mansions. And honestly, mansion rentals are like crazy big money here in LA. Because like let's say an owner wants 100K a month, and you go to your client and you say, oh, it's 105. So you make that 5,000 on top. Like you can charge on top, and you just tell the owner, you just tell everybody what's going on, but just like close everything. But I mean, it's honestly more money and faster money than sales, because sales, you have escrow, you have inspections. But if these guys like the house, they'll just bank wire you $2 million for a year and pay up front, and they're in, and no inspections. It's like, I like it or I don't like it, And there's a landlord. So if the plumbing breaks, they just call someone to come fix it,
Wow.
You don't own the house. And then you write in the contract that if they buy the house, they buy it from you too. So you have that. So in sale, you catch that sale. And then so like that's pretty much, I mean, basically, like I tell people all the time, it's like you do social media and you're nurturing your clients inside of your social media, and like when you cold call people, when you door knock people, you're catching them at a really bad time. I don't know how many times you've gotten a cold call and you're like trying to eat dinner, or like you're trying to hang out with your friend, or you're working. It's not a very good time. But when someone's looking at your social media, like I call it like the rabbit hole, they have the time to fall into your rabbit hole. They're like, oh, this video is interesting. Well, let me check out her picture. Oh, she has a YouTube. Oh, shoot. And they fall into my rabbit hole, and they know so much about me. Like my Instagram followers are like, where is Zoe, my dog? Or they're like, you didn't work out today, like, or you didn't post, like, are you okay? Or like, or, like, and everyone like starts developing this image of you, in their own mind. And like, I tell people all the time, like the Instagram Caroline and the real Caroline, it's like two different Carolines. Like, it's like, they want to believe that I'm this person. So I give them that, but like, really, I like to like stay home and like sleep early, but everyone thinks like I have this like crazy ass life. And like, I do, like when you live in LA, there is like crazy stuff happening all the time. Like you'll be at like Steve Aoki's birthday party at like Ron Burkle's house, which is this billionaire philanthropist. And then like you'll be dating a celebrity one day. And then like, it's crazy out here. And those things are true and are real, but, like I remember one time, like French Montana asked me out on a date, and then he took me to Catch, and he took me to Warwick, and then right after, Pretty Little Things was having a party, and so he's like, "We got to stop by this party, come." And then I walk in, and it was one of the mansions I did a tour on. Like, oh, I know this house pretty well. So it was pretty wild, what we go through, and then so like TikTok became a thing during the pandemic. And so I started posting on TikTok, and then right now we're dropping 5 videos. So they said you have to drop 3 videos a day to get on the algorithm. And then Gary Vee said you have to drop 4 a day. And he said that we have about 1 to 2 years left of this amazing algorithm where you get on everyone's For You page.
I just watched him speak last night.
Yeah, so you have to hit it hard this year and a half, because it's going to be like Instagram where you have to pay for traffic. And so he's like, you got to hit it hard right now. So I had a team meeting, and I told them we're going to drop 5 a day. And so we're just doing a little, and like Ed Milet always talks about doing 1 more. He's like, when you're in the gym, just do 1 more, like you're running, do 1 more mile. He's like, when you're making that phone call, make 1 more phone call. So for us, we're making 1 more TikTok video than Gary Vee is suggesting. And what's the difference of 4 and 5? I mean, it's just like, it's 1 more video, Yeah. And then so I'm trying to, so I've been getting all these DMs. And people are like, can I take you out for coffee? I would like to pick your brain. They like, I get that, like, pick your brain. And I'm like, you have nothing to do with that. I'm going to sit here for a free cup of coffee. Like, but it's cute. And thank you for even thinking of me. Yeah. And then, and then people were asking if they could work for me for free. And then like, as you guys know, like online courses is like a huge business right now. And so my friend was like, why don't you launch an online course? And I was like, what am I going to teach? And they're like, what you're doing. And I was like, I don't think anyone's going to be interested. So we dropped a video on TikTok saying like, hey, are you like lost in real estate? I have a blueprint of like how to get leads. If you're interested, send me your email address. We got, I think, 400 email addresses, just free, like no paid ad, just straight from TikTok.
Wow.
And so 400 people organically are interested on how to do real estate differently. Sorry.
No worries.
We realized there was a market for this. And then shout out to Billy Genius Marketing. He owns this, you guys know him?
Yep. He has an event coming up in a second.
Yeah, he offered me a 50% thing for my online course. And like people were like I just met Billy, he's a new friend to me, but everybody was like, Billy Jean is huge. And he's offering you 50-50, like you got something special right now, Wow. And then like other people were approaching me and they're like, hey, what do you have cooking up? And then I was like, oh, I'm doing this online course. And like other people are like trying to throw money at me. And I'm like, well, I honestly, I'm not the richest person, but I have enough money to like run this course. And I was like, I don't need money. I don't really need that, So when all these people were trying to partner with me, I knew this online course was going to be a thing. It was going to be a good thing. And so I signed up for Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels, and I had also been following this girl. She's not real estate, but her name's Miss Excel. So she teaches people how to do Excel with really fun videos. And I do real estate in a very fun way. So her boyfriend is Mike, and he's a business coach. And so I hired him to help me like set up like this online coaching program. And they were saying that they sell like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of the course before they even film one video. Wow. And I was like, well, what kind of like film crew do I need? And, because I was going to hire these guys that did Grant Cardone stuff. And they wanted to charge me, I think, $6,000 to film all my videos. And he goes like this on the Zoom call. And I was like, what? He goes, you're going to film it on your iPhone. I said, no fucking way. I'm sorry. I was like, you're telling me that she sold a few $100,000 worth of online courses, and she's filming it on her iPhone. And she's like, yeah, in her living room. And I was like, and then like, so online courses. So I'll give you a rundown of all the people, like the 3 people that I've been talking to. So I have a friend named Chrissy, and she does online courses. So I guess in the Midwest, they have these multi-level marketing things to sell essential oil. So she has a coaching program.
My Tara.
And then she teaches you how to become the top in your MLM essential oil group. And she's making $80K a month. Wow. And then so the Miss Excel girl, she's making like $300-400K a month. And then Mo is the winner. He teaches you how to pass the nursing exam. He's making $1 million a month. 70% is profit.
Jeez, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So we're talking big numbers over here. We're not talking small change. Yeah. Like 10,000, 20,000. I'm bored, it's not enough money for me. But when I started hearing these 6-7 figures a month, I was like, okay, I'm interested. And so that's why we're like trying to pump, like all my board is all like, all this online coaching stuff. And I'm sorry. So back up onto real estate, which is why we're doing this video.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
So I do real estate very untraditionally, and I don't make any outgoing calls. and I don't make any outgoing messages. Now, this is not how you're supposed to do real estate, right? So you're supposed to, any coaching program will tell you to call 2 hours a day. You're supposed to call your sphere. You're supposed to call, your farming area and whatever, but all my stuff is in my social media. So I only have business when someone calls me. And so this week, I have like all the messages to prove it. They come in through my Instagram. And when you're like dealing with like online people, you don't know if they're legit. So my first question is, I always say, oh, hi, okay, what area are you looking for? What's your price range? Is it for an investment? Is it for you? And I ask all like the little questions and I say, okay, that's amazing. So when do you want to start looking at houses? Okay, that's great. So what I need is a proof of funds sent to my email address. And as soon as we receive that, we're going to set up all your appointments to go look at houses. Yeah. Now, you're going to get a lot of people who aren't going to send you that email. And that's okay. But at least we know they're bullshit right away. Sorry, BS
you're
right
good.
away.
You're good.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I try not to curse on my social medias and stuff just to have a wider audience,
Yeah.
Like people who don't mind it, but people who mind it really mind it,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
just to open up the audience, I just don't curse. So anyways, oh my God, I lost my train of thought.
Real estate calls.
So I only deal with the incoming calls. So if they don't show their proof of funds, it's fine. At least we know that from the beginning. And I just say, okay, when you're ready, we're still here. So just send that over to us whenever you have time. Are you working with a lender, a pre-approval letter, and proof of funds is enough, or a letter from their bank, And then the other thing is your friends are watching all your social medias. So when they're maybe, I don't know like what kind of friend group you have, but if your friend group is not super rich, like they might know a rich person and their rich friend, their rich boss might say, you know what, I need to move, like they're like, oh my God, there's this agent, Caroline Choi, and she does all these like funny videos and you should check her out. And like, you get referrals like that too. So So the way Keller Williams told me was like, you're doing all this stuff to stay on top of mind. Well, real estate is a great way to stay on top of everyone's mind. I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting next to with a friend and they're like, look, you're on my TikTok. Like, you're the first person on my TikTok. Oh, so this is Russell Brunson. He gives out awards, and this is for 2 Comma Club. So 2 commas is 1 million, and an X is a Roman numeral for 10. So it's like 10 million is the goal.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
So 10 is the goal for my coaching program.
Wow.
Yeah, because we're just trying to do real estate in a more fun way. Because when they told me, like, I tried to cold call, I tried to door knock, and I was door knocking Hollywood Hills. I was wearing a Chanel silk dress, a Chanel bag, and Yeezys. And I was marching with my friend Brandon Menses. So hello, shout out to my friend. And we're like, yeah, we're gonna door knock and we're gonna get business. And I remember this lady, she like opened the door. She's like, I never opened the door for people, but she's like, you guys are dressed so nice. And so she's like, that's the only reason why I'm opening the door. And I wore like Chanel earrings because I didn't want them to think I was like, like I wanted them to know I was like on their field, on their level. And so they didn't feel scared to open the door. So I wore like as much Chanel stuff as I could, and then like, I just remember we were like sweating and it was like, I was like, dude, I can't do this, and like I have a friend named Dave Alred and he owns like 1,200 doors now, but he started door knocking, and now he's like a big boss. He has a fund and he's doing really well. But like, I really give super credit to anybody who door knocks and cold calls because it's not easy. And even cold calling, like, so in Tom Ferry, we had to call 100 people a day, 20 times. You have 20 contacts you have to make, and a contact was you have to ask for business. So if you could get that sentence across, that counts as one contact. And it was really hard,
Wow.
It was really tough business. And I can't tell you, the social media thing is so much easier. You know, people are like, I don't have time to film content. And I was like, oh, you know,
Make
like,
the time.
yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to pick a lead gen. So like pick one that fits you. And I think video is a lot easier for me. I mean, like, I don't know. If you put a camera on me, I can talk all day. Like, it's just me.
We could tell.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. I love it because after you said the whole point of like, you know, I'm not a traditional real estate professional, and you're welcome for all the viewers and listeners out there. I told you you have a special celebrity guest. And so this isn't going to be a traditional podcast either, because obviously you just gave us everything and then some the last past like 15, 20, 30 minutes or whatever it's been. But your stories are amazing, Caroline. I love how you went from the traditional stuff to this is what you wanted to do, and you didn't take no for an answer. And you said, I am working luxury, and boom, like Michael reached out, the stars aligned, and now you're a celebrity and you're doing all these things, which is phenomenal. And because traditionally we have like a mix up round and we do different things, but I'm like, you know what, let's just kind of just roll this out because of these stories. And I know Dan had some questions too.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing, because I think this is the major point of the entire podcast, is that you've created a inbound authority-driven marketing funnel for yourself. You're not making outbound calls. You're not having to build new friendships or network or throw crazy events just to get business. The business is coming to you, and then you're taking it a step further, which I've actually implemented in my business because I'm too busy, which is show me your proof of funds or pre-approval or get lost. And unfortunately, people take it the wrong way. I've lost like probably 30-40% of the business from that. But unfortunately, that's saved me about 30 to 40% of my time. So it just allows.
Everyone that showed me proof of funds closed escrow, by the way.
Yeah.
People are going to show aren't messing around.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you going to search for, I always tell everybody, like, why are we going to look at homes if you have no way to buy? It's pointless.
Yes.
But last point I wanted to kind of dissect from all of this is that you're paving your own path. You're utilizing all these really cool marketing tools, all these people like Billie Jean and all these people that are going to help you kind of, you know, carve out that unique marketing path for Caroline. And I think that's what some real estate agents need in order to be successful. That you would have probably failed at being a traditional real estate agent, but you're dominating at the way you want it. Yeah,
I got voted like I think this group, they voted me like top 5.
Wow.
I can find it.
That's amazing.
I don't know if you could see this, but it's top 5. Yeah. Real estate agent on top Los Angeles real estate agents on Instagram.
That's amazing. The link's down below, by the way. So if you want to follow Caroline, check her out.
Another thing is why these videos and stuff are so important is that like some guy in Canada and Dubai, they don't know that Brandon Williams, Sally Foster Jones, you know, they don't know that these guys are the top agents there. They're watching my videos and they think I'm the #1 agent.
Yes.
And a lot of the times the people are too lazy to like look really deep into it. And plus they already watching your videos, they already like you. So they're going to pick you, you know, but yeah, they don't know that those guys are the dominating agents in this neighborhood, you know? So
I think there's an evolution too of old money and new money. And I think some of those top agents that have been around for 10, 15, 20 years that do things their way, that they're like in this old money crowd where you're like, hey, new money, you're selling businesses. Oh, you're a celebrity now. Come work with me.
Yeah. And the other thing is the Tom Ferry coach. She was like, first of all, you're way too sexy on your Instagram. You got to tone that down. And I have to tell you, all my clients, they're like crypto guys. They're, I've had a few like poker professionals. I've had, you know, guys that their company went public. A lot of them are single male, and that is my clientele. But that's like, they also are not going to buy a house from Sally Foster Jones. You know, they'd rather buy it from me. And even a client, like, he was like asking me to look for houses, and I kind of thought he was BS, so I was like not really working on it. He was like, "What's your PayPal?" And I gave him my PayPal. He PayPal'd me $10,000, and he was like, "Go look for a house for me." And I was like, "Oh shoot, this guy's like serious, you know." So my clients are not even traditional, you know. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, these guys, they want to impress me and stuff like that. So their approach is a little bit different, but like at least we know we're dealing with a serious person now, you know.
And I gotta say, hats off. This is amazing because I love how you've reverse engineered the psychology behind the sex sells symbol, right? And like what you're doing, and you're respectful, you're educated, you're smart, you're a business person. So that's why I want to interview, because behind all of the glitz and the glam and all of the, hey, TV, YouTube, check out this amazing house, you're real. And that's why that's what we do at Real Estate First Tech. We want to have guests that are real and go behind the scenes and hear the story. And I was just rolling with it. I was like, all right, Dan and I were like, oh, well, let's just let it roll and talk. Yeah, just go, it's all good. And I love how people buy from something they know, like, and trust. That's what you're doing on video, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. Your attention was on luxury. You got exactly what you wanted, which is amazing. And I think that anyone who's listening should get on TikTok and do those 3 videos. I was actually just at Grow with Video Live, Sean's event, and Gary last night. I just watched them yesterday evening live, and he was just like, yeah, you got to get on TikTok, 2 to 3 or now 4 in the next 24 months, and you're done. She's saying 5. One more.
He's saying we have a year and a half of this algorithm, and after that you have to pay for traffic. And I mean, like, when I'm sure you've seen these like Instagram people with like 10 million followers. It's like they've been doing Instagram from the beginning,
Yeah.
And so it's like we're gonna catch the TikTok wave now. All the people who missed out on Instagram, we get to be on the TikTok wave.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So I've been doing the videos, got to get up to that 5 level. So, you're even
I'm going to go shoot 5 right now.
Yeah, exactly. Batch that content, 15, 20, 30 videos.
We actually, this is on my coaching program, but we actually film like very short videos, like 7-second videos. And in one day we film 70 videos. Wow. And then they go into like a folder, and then my assistants just pick like 5 videos, and then they edit it and post it and pick 5. And so you film all the videos in one day. And I'm sure you guys do that with the podcast. And you do all the work in one day, and then like you just drop the videos every day. Cause so I didn't know, like when I was doing Instagram, I was literally putting on makeup, doing my hair, posting a photo. The next day, doing my hair, doing my makeup, posting the second one. This girl, she does Instagram, and she's like, no, babe, the way we as in the influencers, she's like, the way we do it is we bring like 10 outfits, we shoot all the content, we drop the content every day. And I was like, oh, and then so like I just like use this with everything else, like all the TikTok and stuff. We're like, we just film everything in one day and we drop the videos. There's a folder that we have of everything.
Done. Simple.
Oh, and then it's crazy because you can pull the traffic that you want with the videos. So we looked at our engagement, and we noticed that it was like, it's mostly men because like I am that sexy realtor and whatever. But I was like, we need to pull more girls. So we were like, how can we pull more girls? And so we found this company called Shein, which is like super cheap clothes from China. And I bought like $800 worth of clothes from there. And then we're dropping like Shein haul videos. And then those videos are doing better than our real estate videos.
Wow.
But we're getting girl followers. So they're coming in to watch the Shein. Then they go into my page like, oh, this girl's a real estate agent. Oh, this girl drives a Lamborghini and lives in a super nice house. What does she do? Oh, she's a real estate agent. Oh, she has a coaching. And like, they're like coming into
down the funnel.
Yeah. And so they're like, hey, I just saw your video on TikTok, send me the blueprint. I'm like, I got you, girl, like, let's go.
Wow. That's amazing. And speaking of the course, it may or may not be out by the time this goes live. If it is, we'll have a link for you. If it's not, Caroline's social media, all the links are down below. You have to check it out. And I know that we're getting on time because Dan's the man. He's the guy behind the scenes who's like more like that. I'm like the cheerleader. Dan's kind of like, hey, we got to stay on point here. So
we're gonna have an hour episode here. This we've never had.
Yeah, but it's been amazing because this has been an amazing opportunity. And for anyone who's watching and listening, we're hoping you're getting tons of value because I want to definitely stay in touch with you, Caroline, and talk about potential opportunities. We could talk about it offline about Liftoff and a big event we have coming up, and we want a potential celebrity guest. So whoever's listening, stay tuned for me more there. But what I want to do to end the show is I want to change up the camera angle and put it on you, Caroline. And what would you want someone who's listening to this episode to take from it to apply to their business to have more success today? Like what's something that you can give them, some inspiration, a tip? Take it away.
So my biggest tip and inspiration is number one is don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. Because there was a story that they told us at Keller Williams. They have an event called Bold, and it's 3-day like a coaching program. And the coach was telling us a story, and the story was that they put a bunch of monkeys in a cage, and they put bananas in a basket, and the monkeys would try to climb the rope, but as soon as they pulled it, a bucket of water would fall on their head. And then they did it again and again. And so they conditioned these monkeys that every time they pulled it, that a bucket of water would hit their head. So they put a new monkey in that cage, took the bucket of water out, but left the banana. So when the new monkey came, he got hungry, so he tried to climb the rope. And then there was no more water, but the other monkeys pulled him down because they didn't want him to get wet. So like they're so conditioned that it doesn't work, that they're trying to help you and save you by pulling you down. But, and a lot of the times when you're doing business, people are going to tell you like, you're too sexy. Are you kidding me? You got to sell condos first. And they're going to give you all their limiting beliefs because that was their experience. But I'm going to tell you that just try it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, you're going to, it's not going to work. Then you try something else. Not a big deal, but people are going to give you, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, don't give me your limiting beliefs. Like I straight up tell people that now. I'm like, don't give me your limiting beliefs. I told my girlfriend, I was like, oh, I'm learning the software ClickFunnels to launch my coaching program. And my girlfriend was like, you can't do that. You have to go to masters and get a master's in software engineering. I was like, don't give me your limiting beliefs. I can't do that. And I put the funnel together in 2 weeks. Like, wow. Why are you telling me I can't? You didn't even try and you're telling me I can't. So no matter what industry you're in, people are going to tell you you can't do it. And I always tear down those walls, figure it out a way. And, and I'm a super lazy person. And I heard this quote that Bill Gates hires lazy people because they'll find a shortcut. And that's me. Like, I'll always find a shortcut. Like, I love money. I love earning lots of money, and I'll always figure out the way to hit that, but I knew I did 2.5% on the local condos in my house. And I was like, oh my God, I have to like sell so many condos to like make this. And then I was like, well, when if I just hired the price point, and just hyper focused on that, and then so I started concentrating on higher price point homes and working less. And so anyways, just mindset's really important. Vibration is huge. Like, you can't manifest when you're on a low vibration. And so you got to figure out how to keep yourself on that high vibration. And if that's letting go of toxic friends, toxic bosses, toxic coworkers, if you need to take a break from your mom that tells you you need to go to med school and not do this business thing, like whatever it is, whoever those people are, like give them a little break, and just stay with people. And I love going to like masterminds and all these entrepreneur groups. My really good friend, Dan Fleischman, he runs Avengers and 100M, which you guys should all check out. They're like, and all the guys in that group, they're all big boys. Like, Avengers is like 30K a year and 100 million is 100K a year, but you're hanging out with all the big boys in their industry, and want to be around people like that, Because if you tell them you're making $1 million a year, they won't even get out of bed for $1 million bucks. You know, like they're on a whole new level, which will put your mindset in a whole new level. Like if you're trying to talk 50,000 to them, they yawn, you know? And so you're like, oh, okay, yeah. So you level up on accident hanging out with them, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember I was working with this business coach and he's like, okay, you got to give me a number that's going to be your new goal. And I told him, 100 grand a month. And I made 100 grand a month doing wholesaling. And he's like, you already made 100 grand a month. You have to make a new goal. And I said, okay, 200 grand a month. He goes, no, 500 grand a month. And I was like, I can't make 500 grand a month. He was like, yes, you can. You have to put it into the universe and it'll like come to you. And then like, I'm not saying that my coaching program is going to make this much, but like, as you heard, Miss Excel, Mo, they're hitting these numbers. These are real freaking numbers. And I met Mo at one of those conferences too. And
wow.
so, yeah, I mean, it's just like you become, and you've heard this, you become the average of your friends. And I was just like, I went to EDC with a bunch of my friends this weekend, had the best time ever, by the way. And I was telling them, I was like, yeah, I'm the poorest person in my group. And then my friend was like, yeah, that's the way, that's how you're going to grow. He's like, you have so many billionaire friends and, and I have a pretty nice life compared to other people, but I still feel broke. I went to my friend's house. It was $87 million. And I was sitting there at the pool and I just had a thought and I said, I still can't buy this house. Like I have to keep working,
Wow.
It's not, yeah, like I have to keep going. I still can't buy this house. I couldn't. Even if you financed it, even if you 100% financed the house for me, I couldn't afford it because I couldn't afford the mortgage. And I was like, shit, I'm broke. I got to keep working, and I mean, you can't really see my house, but I live in a 4-bedroom, 5-bath, 3,400 square foot, brand new construction home. I live here by myself, no roommates. I have no husband. It's all me. And like, I'm able to fund this life and I still feel broke. So
wow. Caroline, yeah. You're an inspiration. I got to say, this is going to be one of the history books for sure. And I appreciate, anyone who's listening, we just met. I slid into the DMs and the team did to get her on. And I just want to say, I'm humbled by the story. I'm humbled by the opportunity. And thank you so much for sharing everything that you shared, because there's only so many people out there that have this type of opportunity to speak to someone with this type of connections. So I just want to let you know that I'm very humbled by your time and everything that you shared today. So thank you so much, Caroline, for everything that you put out there. Yeah, most definitely. And Dan, as always, thank you for co-hosting. I told you we had a special one today.
I'm joking. Great to meet you, Caroline, and we'll definitely be in touch.
And
thank you so much.
Of course. And to all our viewers and listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. That was impactful. I'm sure you took some notes. If you didn't, rewatch it, rewind it, whatever you got to do, because it is our intention for you to take things from our episodes, apply to your business, have more massive success. We will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching Real Estate vs. Technology, this week's brand new episode, and making it to the end, your real one. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for new episodes that come out every single week on Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you comment on this episode and you like the episode, you'll help this episode get out to more individuals. And if you want to join our Facebook group page, just click a link. It's a Facebook icon on our profile page here on our YouTube channel. Join our group page, network with individuals all across the world, and share what technology you're using to grow your business. The next link is to join our Real Estate vs. Technology brand new IG or Instagram page. If you go on any of our stories, you can see who's going to be on Real Estate vs. Technology before it actually goes live on our YouTube channel. And the last link would be if you want to be on an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. You pick a date and a time. We'll deep dive into your story and technology you're using to share that with other individuals that view our episodes weekly to inspire, enlighten, show up, and show out for people that love to watch these type of podcasts to have more success in their own business. Thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it. We will see you on the next one.